Client called me the other day with something that kind of freaked him out, and it's something that happens often. So it's something I wanted to discuss with you, and I'll tell you what I told my client. If you get a notice from the IRS, there are three things I generally tell clients. First thing is don't panic. Oftentimes the IRS sends you a notice. They're asserting you owe penalties and interest, or even they're asserting that there's income that you didn't report. Chances are, and this happens often, they're wrong or their calculations are incorrect. And even if there aren't, there's a way that the IRS can let you out of penalties if you've been a good taxpayer. I'll get to that a little bit more in a second. The second thing is, and this reverts back to my first point, is don't immediately pay what the IRS is assessing. A lot of times clients get a notice, it scares them. First thing they do, reach for their checkbook, pay the notice. They don't want to deal with that. And it makes sense, and I get it. Third thing is, and this kind of piggybacks off the last 2 points I've made, is if you get an IRS notice, send it to somebody like a CPA or your tax preparer so they can take a look and advise you. They can check the calculations and they can tell you whether or not the taxes they're asserting and penalties and interest are correct. I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the penalties I mentioned earlier. The IRS offers what's called a first-time abatement waiver. I've got a little bit more detailed information on a blog I wrote about this. You can get this on my Facebook page or our website. But the bottom line is, the gist of it is, if you've been a good taxpayer, you file your tax returns on time, and you pay your taxes on time, the IRS will let you out of a penalty. It's called a first-time abatement waiver. You just have to know how to ask for it. Again, so if you get a notice, don't panic, don't immediately pay it, and send it to somebody that knows about the first-time abatement waiver, or somebody that can just check the calculations to make sure it's correct before you pay it. If you have any more questions, you can send me an email, marcus@prmcpa.com, or you can reach me on Facebook. Thanks.